The producers and distributors of Tech AV audiovisual training aids welcome you to this presentation in the Tungsten Inert Gas Welding series. In this program, we shall take a closer look at the equipment used in the TIG welding processes. Power sources or welding machines suitable for use with the TIG process are of the constant current type and are often produced for use with both TIG and with SMAW processes. TIG welding is used extensively in fabrication and repair processes involving thin gauge metals. In fact, this is the main reason that TIG is so popular. The welding current for such operations rarely exceeds 150 amps, and in many cases, a welding current of only 20 amps is sufficient to effect a weld. The minimum requirement for a TIG operation is a machine that delivers a controllable DC output. Most ferrous metals are welded using DC. It must be noted that your average home use transformer is totally unsuitable for use with TIG welding processes. Let us take a look at a typical power source that has all the controls and features required in order to perform TIG welding operations. When one first looks at the control panel, this machine appears quite complicated, so let's identify and explain the various controls. All power sources will have an isolation switch. This switch controls all of the electrical functions of the machine. The next control is the welding current selector. This three-position lever is turned to select the desired current type, namely DCEN, DCEP, and AC. This control is the amperage setting, which sets the welding current or amperage. The next controller is called a post-flow timer and is used to set the shielding gas. Depending on where the dial is positioned, the shielding gas will continue to flow for the selected amount of time in seconds after the welding current has been shut off. The four controls, or settings, so far mentioned, can be considered as the four basic controls on any good AC-DC TIG machine, as all of these must be preset before any welding can commence. The following controls and selection devices will depend very much upon the make and type of machine that you have. One important control is the HF or high-frequency switch, especially if you intend welding aluminium. This particular machine uses a three-position switch with the off selection being in the center position. In the up or start position, the HF voltage acts only when the welding current starts. That is, when an arc is struck. This mode is used when DC current is selected. In the down or continuous position, there will be HF at the electrode continuously, whilst the current is set to AC. The next control is for arc balance, which during this basic course we will not require. This controller should be left set in the position indicated. This controller is called a crater timer. The same control on other machines may be called the downslope timer. This control is used to gradually reduce the welding current when approaching the end of a run. The next controller, namely the arc force setting control, is not used for TIG operations. This control is used with SMAW welding and should be set to the off position during TIG welding. All the controls that are placed on the front panel of a machine are known as operator controls because the welder has direct access to them when needed. You may find that other, less frequently needed controls are not easily accessible, such as the high-frequency adjuster on this unit. There are some controls that have to be used in conjunction with a remote control unit. We will look at remote controls later. The controls and features we have looked at are usually available on most makes of TIG machines. In order to locate these controls and understand their function, you should read the operator's manual for that unit.